special. My name is Cam. Joining me tonight, of course, Kimo. What's happening, brother?
I'm doing excellent, Cam. I'm fucking excited. It's a big one, man.
I'm hyped, man. There's only 1 day to go, less than 1 day to go, actually. But meeting some of the boys tomorrow. Obviously, wish you were there, but you're on the other side of the world. Quigg Frampton fevers kind of took over this week. A lot of scuffles, a lot of interviews back and forth, a bit of drama. How have you found that initial kind of controversy, and just going back to some of the pre-shows like The Gloves Are Off and the whole Sky production, Behind the Ropes? What's your thoughts on all of it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was a little bit sad about this fight because just going back to when we were trying to get tickets for it, I was actually considering coming over, but it was a bit of a downer, and it kind of gave me a bad vibe about the fight, just the way it went with the ticket sales. But these last couple of weeks, man, I mean, the press and the hype and everything has really, really gotten to me, and I'm super excited, man. There is, I think a lot of it is show, but I think a lot of it is also just this sheer competitiveness of these two guys. You know, I don't think they truly hate each other. I don't think that's the case, but they do, especially one camp, they do seem a little bit rattled. So the Behind the Gloves one, man, I really enjoyed it, and I want to talk a little bit about Quigg because I was never a fan of this guy, and it's funny how things change because a while back, you probably remember this. I always said, just like many people, that I would pick Frampton hands down if they ever fought. You know, I always thought he was the more talented guy, the better boxing brand, as he says. You know, like I always thought he could easily school Quigg, and it's funny how everything just changes in one fight. You know, for both Frampton and for Quigg. I mean, and I want to talk a little bit about that as well later on, about the implication of those two fights that took place, because that shook up everything basically. And as Hearn has said, it's what pretty much made this fight happen. Yeah, go on. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I agree to an extent. I agree it made the fight happen. But looking back, I don't really think it made much difference to me. Yeah, Frampton got dropped twice. Neither time I thought he was hurt against Gonzalez. And the rest of the fight, he beat Gonzalez up. I watched it last night just to kind of, jog my memory in case you bought some loaded gloves to the fight tonight. I thought I'd better brush up. And yeah, I don't think it changed that much. My opinion still is what it initially was, that Frampton screws Quigg and possibly knocks him out if Quigg actually tries to go for him and tries to get a knockout or a few knockdowns because he knows he's behind. Apart from that, I think Frampton runs rings around Quigg. What's changed your opinion, though? Is it just because Frampton's looked like a bit of a diva at times and Quigg's more like the kind of almost a Rocky story, just like the normal guy just trying to earn a living?
I think you pretty much nailed it there. I mean, the thing is, for me, like, just to put it out there, I never really liked Quigg because I never really got to. I mean, personality is quite an important thing for me to like a guy, and he never really put himself out there. And I don't know what happened. I mean, we've talked about this before on the show. Like, all of a sudden, he speaks, I wouldn't say well, because that's an overstatement, but he speaks much better than he does before, and he's really opening up. And even though some people might say, like, he's a little bit shallow, as in the sense that he doesn't really have a story to tell apart from that he fucking loves boxing and his mom's his best mate. But I kind of respect that, I kind of like that about him. I kind of like the fact that he lives the fucking life, with all these dudes nowadays that think they're businessmen and, talk about numbers and talk about the A side. Another thing which pisses me off about Frampton's team, Quigg just kind of sticks to the basics, He's just a real honest guy with these big, keen eyes, and he's excited and he's worked his ass off for this. And I don't know, man. I really took a liking to him, and that special that they did on him, like, a lot of people making fun of him, but I kind of like that underdog feeling that I have about Quigg, and that definitely makes me root for him. But I have serious doubts on whether he's actually capable of doing damage to Frampton, and yeah, we'll get into that later because I first want to talk a little bit more about the build-up. One thing that really annoyed me, Cam, and I don't know about you, is the overall attitude of Frampton's team. I mean, apparently they were quite difficult in negotiations. That's one thing, and they're quite, they're quite frank about it. They don't even hide it, and they seem to put down Quigg as a draw and just as a person as well. But they're really fucking around, especially in the last few days. The whole thing about the dressing room, and then Frampton saying, "Oh, the fact that you don't want to give it up is a sign of weakness." I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like you're the one who's instigating shit. I think that's a sign of weakness. And the fact that he, puts his hand on Quigg during the weigh-in, and then when something happens in return, like he gets all fucking pissed off and he calls Hearn a lanky cunt. Like, what do you think about all this, man? Because I used to kind of like Frampton and his personality, but lately it's been kind of annoying me.
I totally agree. I think, how you've kind of warmed to Quigg. A lot of other people have warmed to Quigg just because of the kind of antics of Frampton's team. Like, people don't like arrogance. Most people don't like arrogance, and I'm a fan of Barry McGuigan just because of what he's done in boxing, but he is very arrogant, and you can tell like that has bled into his sons, and it's bled into Shane as well, where, don't get me wrong, I think Shane is a good up-and-coming trainer, but the way he talks in interviews, it's like he's got multiple world champions that he's brought up from scratch. And I watched a Gallagher interview, and he made some good points where he's on the up, and he's got a lot of good basics, but he's kind of talking ahead of himself yet. He's got Hay, who's established anyway. He's got your homie Groves, who's established anyway, and even Frampton, he didn't really start from scratch with Frampton. So I think, a lot of people have got a bit of a cold feeling of Frampton recently just because of his team, but it's hard to say because I agree with you. Frampton's touching him and then he's complaining when he does something back. You can't really do that, It's even when I watched the Gonzalez Frampton fight yesterday, he kept looking at the ref for the low blows, and some of them weren't low, but it's like because he got dropped and he thought that I'm the A side, I should be getting all the the favours from the referee. So Frampton has slightly got a bit of a diva-esque personality these days. Unfortunate to say, because I'm still a big fan. It's just I like the humble guys.
Well, it's not only that. Like I'm all for arrogance in boxing. Like I'm a massive fan of guys that talk shit. But with them, I don't see it as them building the fight. With them, I see it as they genuinely believe this, because it doesn't, it doesn't come across as hyping the fight to me. It comes across as them just speaking their minds. Like, and there's this sort of real arrogance about it. I can tell when you're doing it to hype the fight, and I can tell when you're just you're tooting your own horn a little bit too much. And the thing is with Frampton, I understand that he has this feeling about Quigg that he's not a quote unquote real champion.
Yeah.
But what have you done yourself that's that impressive, apart from drawing all those people in Belfast? Because that's one point I want to talk about. And leaving Kiko out of the picture, right? Because people talk about, Quigg got Frampton's leftovers in Kiko.
Yeah.
But who else has Frampton really beaten that I can say for myself, okay, that's a fucking legit name?
I guess only Avalos, but even that it's not a great name.
I'm sorry, I don't rate Avalos. Like only Naota rates Avalos. He fucking picked him, but he didn't have a fucking chance in that fight. He didn't, and I think their resumes are actually quite comparable.
I can't argue with that. That's a fair point.
I mean, you want to talk about? I mean, both of them haven't fought Rigo. First of all, let's put that out there. And second of all, I don't really see any names where I think, like Frampton is this amazing guy that has this incredible resume and he's coming up against, a dude that hasn't proven himself yet. I think actually this is a big test for both of them. I think this is for both of them a massive test because they've both shown dents in their armor. I mean, say what you want. Oh, he got caught cold, this and that. Frampton got dropped by a fucking nobody. I mean, the guy was a kid, I don't care about the size advantage. I mean, I really don't.
I think that comment's unfair, man, because it's something I've said in previous shows about the unknown. He was an unknown, so sometimes unknowns are good. You can only gauge it on what he does afterwards.
Okay, I mean, again, fair point, but I'm just speaking on the perspective of him rating himself that high and saying that Quigg hasn't fought anybody. Who the fuck have you fought? Like, Team Frampton keeps saying this, and I'm yet to hear a name apart from Kiko, that has really built up their resume. So that's one point that makes me doubt it. When people say, "Oh, Quigg's the one who needs to prove himself." No, I think both of them need to prove themselves. If Frampton wins in emphatic fashion, then he goes up a notch. I don't think he's already there. If you get what I'm saying?
No, I totally get what you're saying. Yep. So,
go on.
I just want to say quickly, it's off topic a bit, but just some of the interviews I saw last night, the IFL videos, where either it was James Helder or it was Cassius asking either Shane McGuigan or Frampton himself or Barry about whether this dressing room issue could potentially call the fight off, and they were like, well, possibly. It's like, how could you let this little BS fucking call off this big event where people have spent ridiculous amount on tickets, ridiculous amount on flights, hotels and shit? That little comment really pissed me off because people are coming over from Ireland, like Leon's coming from London, Chu's coming from Scotland, and there's people that are probably coming from further. Like, imagine you would have booked your tickets back then and you were coming over just for this flight from Abu Dhabi, and then all of a sudden they're talking shit about the fight might not happen because of some dressing room issue, man. That really pissed me off, and I'm a Frampton fan, a Team Frampton, but I hate shit like that.
Bro, let me just say it because Leon is not here, so I'll say it. When you say something like that, you sound like a total cunt. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, what the fuck do you mean? They're just trying to troll, but it just comes across as so fake, and just so, I mean, ignorant shit. What are you talking about? It's a fucking dressing room. I really don't know where they're coming from with this. I mean, they seem to think that this is going to give them some mental edge, or they're really that delusional that they believe that they're entitled to this, like, what the fuck are you talking about? And this is coming back to the same point. Apart from selling out arenas in Belfast, what have you really accomplished in the sport? The fact that you hold a strap, I don't give a fuck if you do. I really don't. The belt doesn't mean shit to me, I mean, what have you really accomplished? I think if you take away all the rep that Frampton has in Belfast, you take away all the excitement and the glamour of these big events. I mean, let's be fair, that outdoor stadium fight he had against Kiko, the rematch was fucking brilliant, But if you take away all of that, I don't really see a guy that's accomplished that much in the sport. The fact that you walking around making demands about dressing rooms and shit like that. What are you, Floyd Mayweather? Like,
I can't even argue with you, Kimo. Like, I came today prepared to have like a head-on battle with you, but most of what you're saying, I totally agree with.
Yeah, I mean, obviously people are going to disagree with me, but I'm hearing all this shit, right? I don't live in the UK, so I try to follow everything as much as possible, but there seems to be an image in the UK about Gallagher. And for me, if I'm as an outsider looking at what I see in the media, I think that image should be portrayed on Frampton's team and not on Gallagher. Every time I've watched an interview with Gallagher, I never hear anything that he says that's full of shit. So you tell me, Cam, why are people always shitting on him? I think he's been quite genuine in the build-up.
Well, that's a good segue because we have Joe Gallagher's #1 fan on the line as well. Hamada,
Yes, sir.
what's happening, brother?
What up?
I'm good, man. How you lot doing?
We're good, thank you, man.
Excellent.
Give us your thoughts on what Kimo was asking, and then obviously we'll get into some other stuff. But yeah, like, why do you think people hating on Gallagher?
Cause he's a cunt. Simple and plain. I watched some interviews just before we come on, and he's such a bitter man. What is wrong with him? He's clearly hating on Shane McGuigan because Shane McGuigan has got the name, the surname, the McGuigan name, and he's based in London, and he's getting fighters like George Groves and David Hay, while Joe Gallagher has unfashionable fighters like Paul Smith and Anthony Crolla and Cardo. He's a bit bitter, but I don't know, man. I side with you lot on this one, though, man. Like, Gallagher's actually paid his dues, man. Like, he started at the bottom with some of these fighters, and taking them places. So, in that regard, like, I have respect for him, but he's just an egomaniac. Like, it's all about him. Like, when they're winning their world titles, who is it? I've seen pictures of him on Twitter, like, him taking a picture with all their belts. Like, he's a world champion. Do you get where I'm coming from? Stuff like that pisses people off. That's why he gets hated.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And, like, he always, like, talks, like, straight after a fight, he gets involved in the interviews and starts bigging up his fighter and talking about how Frampton can't take body shots and, like, that sort of stuff. Like, he don't need to say these kind of things. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
He don't need to do this, but I don't know, man. Like, if you compare him to all the other British trainers, like, he's the most outspoken. If you compare him to people like Tony Sims and Adam Booth and these kind of guys, like, they don't talk the kind of shit Gallagher does.
He definitely different personalities. I think like. I mean, Adam Booth. I don't know about that. I mean, people can portray him as arrogant as well, but. Hamada, just to respond to that, I mean, do you mean that he's kind of similar, for example, like a Freddie Roach? I mean, he's kind of hated for that as well, that he should he should be more in the background as a trainer. That's what you're saying. Basically.
He thinks he's Britain's Freddie Roach. That's what he thinks. And that's how he tries to carry himself. And by the way, like, he don't look right in a suit. Like, he needs to stop wearing suits.
Neither does David Price, but we all love him for it.
He don't. There's just something about Gallagher. He just doesn't look right in a suit, man. He needs to wear t-shirts and tracksuit bottoms, man. Stick to all of that, man.
And Hamada, like, what's your thoughts on? I don't know. I know you don't really watch boxing too tough like you used to, but have you seen any of the build-up this week?
Like, I watched a few videos a little earlier. Like, I watched their media workouts and, like, I was impressed with Frampton. Like, he looked sharp, he looked fast. I liked the punches he was throwing, the combinations. And Quigg just looked really slow and methodical, if you ask me.
Do you think you're just sandbagging, though, just not giving too much away?
Yeah, but you never know. Obviously, media workouts, people just go through the motions. They're not really trying to give too much away. But I don't know, man. I ain't been following the build-up too much. I watched Behind the Ropes. Behind the Ropes, sorry, and the Face-Off. What is it called? Gloves are off. Johnny Nelson needs to get fired ASAP. He's full of shit, man. He's just terrible. Terrible, man. Like, I'm sure they could get someone better to do that. Can't they?
I heard Kimo's looking for
better of that.
I heard Kimo's looking for a job at Sky Sports, so maybe he could be the next presenter.
Dude, I've been fucking applying for years already.
I think Quigg got the better of that,
Yeah,
he did. He did, man. Quigg schooled him.
Frampton didn't. I don't know, and he just didn't seem right. Like, but then again, Quigg probably had 10 hours a day of media training, getting him ready for that.
Here and got some people in.
Exactly. I mean, But yeah, Frampton looked quite bad. I mean, Quigg was putting it on him at times. He was really putting it on him, and when Frampton opened up about the sparring stories, that's when I just thought to myself, "Yo, this is all getting to him." Like, because at the start when they when they were doing that whole when the fight got announced and they were talking about they went to like the different cities and that,
Yeah.
like they were bringing it up then, and then I think Frampton and his team were saying, "Nah, he's never been hurt in sparring. I don't know what they're talking about." And then in the face-off, he wants to open up about these sparring stories. Like, I thought they didn't happen and they didn't exist. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they went back on what they said initially.
Exactly that. So,
dude, I didn't even know that actually that they denied it at first. Like, that's pretty exposing if you ask me, man. Because when you're doing a fucking face-off, and then all of a sudden you're talking about, I was a little bit hurt and I got up. And...
No. I disagree because all he said is his glove touched. He didn't say like he went down. So if
it sounds like you're just trying to downplay the fact that you really got hurt.
That's true, but if someone's saying that you're getting dropped in sparring and then what happened is your glove touched, that's like two different parallels.
I love how Quigg said the guy who knocked you out in sparring will be watching the fight. That was close. Like Quigg done his bit in that, but yeah, and I don't know, man. It's just that's all I've really seen. The behind the ropes was kind of shit. Quigg's a low life. He has no life at all. I mean, he does nothing at all. Like he doesn't have no hobbies. All he does is just train.
That's a question I was going to ask Kimo when he brought it up earlier. Do you guys think, this whole, I love to train, I love to wake up and then go swimming and come home and sleep for 2 hours and then go to the track and then come home and go to the gym? I don't believe anyone likes going to the gym, man. I think that's just his USP. That's something he can say just to give himself some personality. Because apart from that, he hasn't got no USP, unique selling point.
No, I actually strongly disagree, Cam. Why would he not enjoy going to the gym?
I don't know, like, I like going boxing, but sometimes when it's like a circuit and you're just tired and after work, you're just like, I can't be bothered with this shit. Like, I couldn't do that every day. That would I would need to split it up with something.
Yeah, I kind of don't believe him, man. Like, he's chatting shit, I think, because, like, you have them days when you go into the gym and you're not up to it. And
yeah, you got no energy. You're hitting a bug, and there's no snapping it. You're just not in the mood.
Yeah, there's some days when you're in the gym and you're just thinking, today I'm not at it, and you can just tell like how you're working and that. You just don't feel as sharp as you normally do. You get bad days and good days in the gym, but I don't know, man. Either he's a freak and a weirdo, or he's just chatting out of his ass because. I don't believe that either, because training's hard, man. I mean, to like it is very strange. That.
Why do you disagree, Kimo?
Well, this is the perspective I think he says it. I mean, I know everybody has bad days at the gym, and anybody that's boxed, you have those days where you come home and you've been beaten up in sparring and you're fucking down, and you're pissed off, but. I don't think that's really what he's trying to say. I think what he's trying to say is that he feels privileged that he gets to do this as a living. And the fact that, that's one point he always emphasized, the fact that other fighters talk about sacrifice, he says it's not a fucking sacrifice because you're actually lucky to have the physical gifts and the freedom to do this as a living. Like, and I get where he's coming from. If okay, I'm not saying boxing is easy. But for these type of guys, put them in a fucking desk job, a 9 to 5, they would go crazy and they probably couldn't do it because this is what they're made to do, like this is their gift. This is what they want to do. And I kind of get where he's coming from. I think he appreciates the fact that he can do it and he's making a lot of money doing it as well, which is a bonus, so I don't know. I kind of get where he's coming from. I don't think he means that he feels like super excited every day, even though he kind of says that, I wake up every day at 5 and I feel fantastic. Yeah, okay, that might be a little bit exaggerated. But I think the overall point that he's trying to make is that he loves what he does. And I think you do need to have a bit of a love for it. Otherwise, you're going to end up like Mikey Garcia. You know, you're just going to end up quitting. You do need to love being in the gym. And I think there's plenty of boxers, by the way, that have said that in the past, that they love training. And a lot of fighters that love sparring, or both, or one of them, you know, or getting in the ring and fight. And a lot of people might think, well, that's fucking crazy. Why would you enjoy getting punched in the face? Well, ask Brandon Rios. He loves it. So I do believe him, man. And he's a genuine guy. I don't think he's necessarily clever enough to bullshit us about that.
Okay. Let's move on to the weigh-in today. I've been at work all day, and I just caught the weigh-in just before the show, and the atmosphere in there was crazy. I said to some of you guys that the atmosphere at that weigh-in is better than most Frank Warren cards. And the turnout was more than Frank Warren's cards.
Ah, man. I must say, and I don't mean to sound like Beeb, but the fucking UK, man, they do it. I mean, you guys should be proud of the events that you put on. I tweeted this today. Like, there is nothing like a fucking huge domestic UK fight. There's nothing like it, and you get the hype behind it. You get the crowds behind it. I mean, it's just fucking brilliant. I am seriously jealous that you guys are going to be in that arena, because it's going to be nuts, man. It's going to be fucking crazy.
I think it'll be empty just until the Quigg Frampton fight happens. I think everyone's going to be out just chilling, drinking, talking, and I don't think no one's really bothered. Most people are not really bothered about an undercard, which is pretty dire, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, does it really matter, Cam?
It doesn't. At first, I was thinking, it would be nice to have a decent undercard, but I'm thinking, really, everyone's just really bothered about the main event.
At the end of the day, when it comes to boxing, if you have a big fight, whether it's Pac Mayweather, whether it's Frampton Quigg, all everybody cares about is the main event. I mean, only us hardcores kind of appreciate, if you have like a Garcia Matisse undercard, but this fight is fucking huge, man, and people have traveled for it. It's not that far, Northern Ireland, but they have traveled for it. And by the way, has the tickets been split like 50-50 across the arena, or how did they do it?
You mean fans wise, or just how they split in the fan, like the Quigg fans and the Frampton fans?
I mean, just like in general sales, like did half of the tickets go to people from Northern Ireland and half of it went in Manchester, or what?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but I did hear that Frampton had a larger share of tickets, and
oh really?
Yeah, wow. And from what Gallagher was saying, and I can believe it as well, because I did check the website the other day, and there were some more seats available to buy. This was on maybe Wednesday, so I think initially maybe Frampton took more tickets and just couldn't get rid of some, so they just went into general sale.
Just make sure you don't get into with those crazy Irish bastards, man. But you're Team Frampton anyway, right?
Yeah, I'm
You're going to side with them, you fucking traitor.
I'm going to have to wear a Frampton t-shirt just so I don't get glassed by someone. Then I might just get glassed by a Quigg fan.
I don't know, man. People know you in Manchester. You better watch out, huh?
Yeah, that's true. Hamada, did you see the weigh-in today?
Yeah. The atmosphere was electric.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like
it was
just on the scales. Just on the scales. Like I've read on Twitter, some people saying Quigg didn't look that good. I thought he looked okay. What do you think?
I saw a picture earlier on Twitter that they basically put a picture of him yesterday at the press conference and a picture of him today on the scales, and like you could see his face was kind of drawn in, but that's just how you are, isn't it? Like he probably took off 5 or 6 pounds overnight, so I think they both looked quite tight at the weight, but I think if anyone looked better, then I would say Frampton looked better.
Yeah, I agree to that.
I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest. I just think we make a lot more out of making weight than we should. I think more time. I think they're the fighters, they're the specialists. They do it time and time again, so they should know how to do it and how to rehydrate.
The thing is, this is IBF though, Kimo. Do you think Quigg will struggle with the 10-pound rehydration limit?
Well, that's an interesting question, actually. I think it can only be answered by how much does Quigg normally rehydrate. I really don't know, to be honest. I don't know if any of you know. I don't know if even should remind me. Does Sky even show the weights on the day itself?
No, they never really announced the fight night weights of the fighters. It's nothing. It's not really a common theme that happens in the UK.
No, it's mostly something that HBO does, right? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, he's a big guy, but from what we've heard in the past, it's actually Frampton who struggled at the weight. Now, I don't know if that's laziness or, that he's just got such a big frame. I remember talking to Kev about it because I couldn't believe it. Like, he seems such a small guy, but Kev was like convincing me, saying, "Oh, he's a dense guy. He probably has trouble making it." I think they both look fine. I think Quigg is professional, and he, even though he might not look exactly fresh, it's normal for him. I don't think it's going to affect him. What will affect the fight, though, is the overall size advantage on the day itself, which I'm quite curious about what it would be. But I guess we're not going to find out with Sky.
What was my next question? It's totally gone out of my mind.
I was just going to say, I don't think that IBF 10-pound thing would be an issue. They're going to get probably weighed in the morning. So...
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. It's not a big deal. I think after 9 o'clock, they can eat what they want, and then they'll probably put on another 5 to 10 pounds. So it's not really a big deal. They're going to get weighed in the morning, so that's when they wake up. I don't know. I think Quigg, the only reason why he's at super bantamweight is because he lives the life. I think if he didn't live the life and didn't, because you could tell Quigg probably diets outside the camp as well and keeps his weight down. So I think if he didn't do that, he wouldn't be at 122. He's quite big.
Yeah, that's a fair point, man. I totally agree to that. But Kimo, did you see that little scuffle between Shane and Sergio Gallagher?
Stop calling him Sergio, man. Please.
Hey, man, he's trainer of the year, yeah?
Yeah, Ring Magazine trainer of the year, man. Show some respect.
Yeah.
I didn't really shit on Gallagher today. You said
I was actually surprised. I was actually surprised because you actually kind of gave him respect and kind of ripped on Shane, which I totally agree with, by the way. I mean, the guy should show some fucking respect because just because you have Groves and David Haye coming over to you when you haven't done shit doesn't make you a great trainer automatically. I mean,
shall I tell you the truth? They're only training with him because he's based in London. That's the only reason why. No big deal.
Especially David Haye, like the guy is just so mature in his career. Like at that point, you're just a pad holder, man. What the fuck are you? What the fuck are you going to add? Groves is fucking done.
Exactly.
Unless he's totally revived, which he's not. But then at least you can put a stamp on it. You can say, okay, that is what Shane McQuiggan does as a trainer. But thus far, all I've seen from him is just holding up that little fucking racket that he uses.
That table tennis bat.
Yeah,
racket,
during the pad work. Like, that's the only fucking thing I know about him. And another thing I don't really like about him is his corner instructions. Like, he just rambles too much in the corner.
You said that to me the other day, and I totally agree because I've said in the past I'm a fan of the way Booth does it. Gives a few concise instructions, doesn't talk too much, and let the boxer focus on that. And you said that Shane kind of rambles on with so many things. You don't want to do that in the corner. You don't want to confuse your boxer.
At the end of the day, everything that you've built up towards the fight, that should be embedded in the boxer. And giving that many instructions during a fight isn't going to change that much. You should only do the bare minimum because at the end of the day, you're not going to adjust during a firefight that much. And that's like you said. That's what I love about Booth, man. He's calm, no matter what the situation. He stays in control, and when you've got all this shit going on around you, you know, like your fighter's only going to pick up so much. So I don't know. And that's another question I wanted to ask you guys, actually, because I think it's an interesting point. We've seen both guys get dropped, right? Quigg quite a while back. I forgot who the guy's name was, Cam, but I watched it back this week. Could you remind me?
Something Arthur, was it?
Jamie Arthur, Jamie Arthur, I think it was. And Frampton, obviously, against
Gonzalez.
Texas fights with Gonzalez. How did you think that both guys reacted to being hurt? Because I saw a bit of a difference. I thought Quigg
reacted better.
I thought he reacted better. I thought he was immediately in control of what was going on. Like, he took his time. He went to a knee. He waited a second to get up. And his defense was actually really, really tight, even though he was getting blasted by the guy. Whereas Frampton kind of got emotional about it, and he went for the kill straight away and then got dropped again.
Yep.
You know,
why are you saying things tonight that I'm totally agreeing with? Why can't you say some, opposite stuff so we can have a big argument?
Well, actually, because instead of driving around doing Nick Halling impressions, I actually did some research. So maybe that's why.
No, I agree. Like you said, Quigg was composed. He got up, but then went back down to a knee just to compose himself, and he finished that round so well. He's stronger than Jamie Arthur did, and totally correct about Frampton. He was firstly too eager, at the start of the fight, gets dropped, and then he looked like he was embarrassed and he wanted to just pay him back instantly, gets dropped again. And it was only after that where he can compose himself, but even not even straight away, second, third round, he was still trying to go after Gonzalez. After maybe the fourth is when he started to lay traps and counterpunch him a bit, and he was mixing up the back foot or the front foot work. And I actually think he's better on the back foot. He is effective on the front foot. He just leaves himself open quite a lot, especially to a right hand and left hook as well, because sometimes his right hand drops. Hamada, what's your thoughts?
Sorry, what was that?
What's your thoughts on the way both guys reacted to getting dropped in their previous fights? I don't know if you've seen the Quigg one against Jamie Arthur.
I've never seen Quigg get dropped.
All right, what are your thoughts on the Frampton Gonzalez fight when he got dropped twice in the first round?
I don't remember much of it, but there were two flash knockdowns. I think one was one a jab.
Yeah, one was like a power jab. Yeah,
and the other one was just like a right. I think it was a right hand that just and his knee buckled. Really, he didn't really flat. He didn't get dropped flat on his back in it, but
yeah, what happened? He was kind of dipping low, and he got caught with a flush right hand. And when your knees are like that bent, and you get caught with a big shot, you can't come up. You just go down.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really read too much into all of this knockdowns, and it's a fight. At times you're going to get hit, and if you go down, you go down. If you don't go down, then you've done well. I can't. There's not many fighters who've gone their whole careers without being dropped, so I don't know why people are making a big deal out of this, and all of a sudden Quigg's got a great chance of beating Frampton because he got dropped in his last fight. Like, I don't know, man. I think a lot of people don't understand boxing properly, because everyone gets dropped. It just happens. Like, so many fighters have been dropped, and all of a sudden, like, now everyone's just questioning the chin now. Like, that Marquez was dropped. I think I've seen Marquez drop 10 times in his career.
Yeah.
And he's never been stopped. People won't call him chinny. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, man. It doesn't make sense.
Hamada, my question more specifically was, how did you think? I mean, you just said that you don't really remember that much from the fight, but my question was more, how did Frampton react? I agree with you, man. Just because you get dropped doesn't mean you're fucking chinny. And I actually haven't even brought up the chin issue, but it's more for me about the way they react after they've gotten dropped, because let's be fair, right? There is a chance that Frampton gets dropped in this fight. My question is, considering what's at stake, considering the emotion in the fight, how is he going to respond to that? Because I thought against Gonzalez, he was a little bit emotional the way he reacted. He didn't really take his time to reset himself. And even the commentators noticed this straight away. Like, he was just trying a little bit too hard, just to get back into the fight straight away. Whereas Quigg was a little bit more patient in his recovery. But that was kind of the main point I was trying to make.
I don't know, to be honest. Maybe Frampton was shocked because it was his first fight in America and he wanted to impress, and to get dropped in the opening round, like all his plans went to shit. And probably just thought to himself, I gotta sort this out. And probably went to war with him, but it's not a big deal. It's about overall how he recovered from it for the rest of the fight. That matters more to me instead of that actual moment.
And to be fair, he did beat the shit out of Gonzalez the rest of the fight.
Yeah, but Frampton was getting hit a lot, man. I like Frampton. I think he's a good fighter, but this whole movement and boxer and master boxer bullshit that everyone be talking about is overrated, man. I think he just got a good set of wheels. He gets hit a lot. Like,
Thank you.
All of his fights, he gets hit a lot. Kiko was touching him up, especially in their first fight. In the second fight, he was even still getting touched up. Gonzalez was hitting him a lot. I remember Gonzalez kept hitting him. There was other times in the fight, I think, where Frampton was getting hurt. But, it weren't, on the verge of him getting stopped kind of hurt. But you could tell, he's getting hit and he's feeling it. And you're thinking, it's overrated, man. But I still think he's got enough to beat Quigg, but I just think it's all overrated, this whole boxer bullshit, man. I don't see it, man. He gets hit a lot. He just got a good set of wheels, and he's athletic. Like, he can leap in with punches and stuff like that. But he's not that good. I think he's overrated, in my opinion.
My opinion on that is, I think he is confident in his own chin, so he does maybe spend a bit too much time in the pocket. Because if you noticed, when he's on the back foot and he's looking for the counters, he's just kind of at mid range. But when he starts going on the offensive and starts, trying to put combinations together, that's the times where he does get caught with counter shots in the pocket, especially with his right hand getting dropped as well. He's open to a left hook, which in this issue against Quigg is not that good. But I think he's just going to be on his A game on Saturday night. I think Frampton's just going to be so sharp.
Hamada, I just want to bounce off what you said, Hamada, because I really, really agree with you, man. I think you just hit the nail on the head. Like, a lot of boxers get mistaken for being slick just because they have their legs for defense, And one of the biggest examples I can give you is fucking Lara. The guy is just really athletic and uses his legs to get around. But when it comes to real, a solid foundation of defense, he doesn't really fucking have it. And I think Frampton is quite similar. And he uses that athletic ability against most opponents, and it works, But when you have a guy with a massive reach advantage like Gonzalez had, you're going to get tagged if you're only going to use your movement and your legs for defense. It mitigates that advantage that you have in your athletic ability. So, and I don't know if this is true, guys, by the way. I don't know how accurate this is, but is it true that Quigg has a 4-inch reach advantage? Because that's what I read in Sky's Tale of the Tape. And that could spell trouble for Frampton as well.
Yeah, but Quigg doesn't really use his height. That's the thing. I thought if Quigg was a kind of...
He doesn't jab much.
He doesn't really jab much. He doesn't really throw a lot of straight punches.
Exactly.
He would only throw
a
straight right to then throw the left hook to the body.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't throw straight shots. He's not a straight shooter. So I don't think it's going to really be an advantage for him, if you get what I'm trying to say. Because what he wants to do, he wants to get close to Frampton and whip in those Tesco Joe body shots.
Left hook to the body, left hook to the head.
Even in the media workout, he was proper, they were proper going through the left hooks and the right hooks to the body. I mean, that's the body shots are good, but I mean, They take it to a whole different extreme. The whole Gallagher gym or being Amir Khan gym.
Yeah. We got some salt on the line, Leon.
Hello.
How you doing?
I've been hearing rumours that Kimo's gone full retard in the last 5 minutes. Are these rumours true, Cam?
No, they're not. They're not.
No, okay. It's just Ari. And,
Ari's just a fucking salty cunt, yeah. Just because I'm excited about this fight, yeah, he needs to fucking hate.
Fanboy.
I'm not a Quigg fanboy, actually, and Cam, I said I would expose this on air. I actually put Frampton UD in the league, yeah.
Did you? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So I've just got a quick 5 minutes, but have you spoken about that final press conference yet?
Yeah, but go for it, man.
I mean, both sides just look like fucking little girls. It was embarrassing. The whole thing was embarrassing. Gallagher's speech about McGuigan was an embarrassment. Absolutely, I mean, shocking. He's just answers the question straight. The man's a coward. And Eddie Hearn's xenophobic use of a pint of Guinness on every interview for the last fucking week is the man's a joke. Maybe we have a Guinness with you. Fuck off, you banter juice wanker. Horrible. Who else? Who else needs some? I mean, McGuigan, great boxer, but he's just creepy and mad, isn't he?
He's creepy. And what's your thoughts on the whole dressing room saga?
I mean, really, I mean, if it's a joke, it's a fucking joke. They're meant to be professionals doing a job. They're fucking children. They've all both. I mean, I think the McGuigan side has completely lost it. For anything to fight over a fucking dress. Honestly, I think both sides. I'm honestly, like I said, I hope it's a war and they both hurt each other so much they're half the fighters they are after this. That's what they deserve. They're children. The whole lot of them.
Even Quigg, does he deserve that?
Well, Quigg's already there, isn't he? I mean, I think Quigg suddenly got brave, isn't he? That's what it feels like to me now. Suddenly he's talking. A man with one good career win, one decent career win against a shot fighter, a man who drew to get his paper belt, and now he's brave.
Quickly, Lynn, I know you got to go, but Kimo made a great point earlier. Like, take Kiko out of Frampton's resume. Is it really a great resume?
Out of Frampton's?
Yep.
If you take them out, I'd say that what he did to Avalos was impressive. Whatever you say, I think he dealt with him properly. And then that's it. I mean, his resume isn't great either. But no one's resume, like, I mean, Leo Santa Cruz has a horrible resume. And he fucks up off to another upward weight and then fights a man who's had the shit beaten out of him for the last 2 years, who's from a weight even further down. And they call that a good fight.
Wait, who calls that a good fight, man? Everybody's shitting on that fight.
There's another other podcast that we won't go into that, but I just, and the amount of, it's weird. Like, I listened to a few podcasts, and all the Yanks are picking Quigg because they could be bothered to watch one fight because it was on their TV, and they're basing all the picks off that, as far as I can work out, because he got dropped against that kid. That's changed everything. I've never seen, like Dan mentioned, I've never seen a fight change so dramatically because a man beat a washed-up fighter and a boxer got dropped, but then schooled the guy for the next 10 rounds. I mean, it was a bad performance in the first couple of rounds, but he took that fight easy. Yeah,
he beat the shit out of him after that.
Yeah, he beat the shit out. I mean, so that's what I mean. I think Quigg and that lot have got brave because they saw that, and they think he's beatable now.
Can't argue with you there, Leon.
I tell you, I'm so excited about the fight, Cam. I'm not being salty. I'm just sick of both sides. I think it's still a great fight. And the two boxers have handled themselves reasonably well. But the rest of them, I mean, it's fucking pathetic.
It's handbags at 10 paces.
I don't care. I've got for Gallagher, no respect. None.
Why? Why don't you have respect for him?
Because he does this all the time. He never gives props to anyone. Did you watch the boxing? Does anyone listen to the Boxing News podcast?
Nope.
You ever listen to that? Right. So their editor said, "Yeah, I don't think this. This is too embarrassing for Joe, so I'll say it. We've been getting a call every week from Joe Gallagher saying, "Oh, Quigg's not high rated at Frampton all the time." Well, I mean, train your fighters, not phoning up a.
Oh, come on. Do you honestly believe that shit?
I believe them over Gallagher all day long. You know that's the kind of shit, petty little shit that Gallagher would pull. The man's a fraud. Buy your own fucking gym, you pikey.
Christ, man. I seriously do not understand all this fucking Gallagher hate.
He's he's horrible about other fight. He says, "Oh, he offers up shit sandwiches, doesn't he?" So we go, "I love McGuigan. McGuigan was one of my favourite boxers." Then destroys him for the next 5 minutes. Then goes, "Oh, but I've got Irish blood, so I really understand it." Fuck off. I think he's a horrible individual.
You know who's horrible individual? The fucking Frampton team. The fucking Frampton.
Bad. I'm not taking.
What?
Go on, no, carry on. Sorry.
No, I was going to say the Frampton team is fucking horrible because they're trying to pull Nick Halling off the broadcast, man. That's a travesty.
I would pull Nick Halling off the broadcast and then take him out the back and fucking shoot him in the back of the head, personally. Sorry if that, you've been winding me up all day, Kimo, let's be honest. Baiting me all day, so I do this shit.
I'm just excited, man. Fuck.
I'm so excited, but I'm excited for the fight, but the hate has got me excited as well, probably because I can't stand either side. I mean, who's that Blaine? I mean, what kind of name is Blaine? Fucking fat,
dude. That guy's a fucking fag, man. Who is that guy? I didn't even know he was a McGuigan.
I don't think Shane handles himself very well. Oh, I hate Gallagher. I've got no time for him. It's just like you're the fighter. Just if this was in any other sport, all these fuckers would be getting fucking fined. They'd be banned, wouldn't they? If this was football, you'd be in the fucking stand. You wouldn't be allowed to go near the fucking this corner of a ring. Am I right? In any other sport, Hamada, in football, if people were behaving like this, they'd be banned, right?
No, they wouldn't behave like that, though.
No, exactly. It's a proper sport.
Yeah, it's true. But boxing is the only sport where you can get away with that kind of behaviour. And you don't bring the sport into disrepute.
Well, that's what I love about boxing, though.
Oh, yeah, no, it's true. I do love it, but I think they've gone too far this week. It's been so... It's not what they said. It's just how pathetic it's come across.
But it makes you tune in.
They've embarrassed themselves, though, really and truly. Like, it's just so... Grown-ass men as well doing this. I mean...
I know.
Yeah, man, it's just embarrassing. I feel sorry for them, because I wouldn't want to be them after that kind of press conference, going home to see your kids and see them seeing how you behaved on telly earlier. I mean, that's just shocking.
And also, I think Quigg's deluded. He was talking about, "I've got this great reception, and you're in my hometown." I didn't hear that way. Did you?
Nah.
No,
I just think he did get it. He did get it a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they've hypnotised him into believing that there's people cheering for him.
His eyes look hypnotised, actually.
I mean, yeah. But anyway, I can't wait to go to the fight, hang out with you guys and watch the fight. I'm so excited for the fight. Whatever happens, I'm still, fucking hyped for the fight. And I think it's a great fight. I'm picking Frampton to stop him in about 10, 11 now. Because I think Frampton looked good at the weigh-in. But I might be horribly wrong and Quigg might knock him out in 4 rounds. That's the danger of this fight. And you'll be unbearable if Quigg wins, Kimo.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry, man. Quigg can't win this fight, man.
Just on skill set.
He can't win this fight, man. Not even... He's just... This is Quigg's cash out. I think Quigg either goes up to featherweight or retires after this fight. That's what I think. Because this is all they wanted, like, their whole lives. Gallagher, Quigg, Hearn, like, for the last 2 years. The only reason that I think Sky's even been interested in Quigg is because Frampton's around. If Frampton didn't exist, or Frampton was at a different weight class, they wouldn't push Quigg like they have been. But because Frampton's been around, they know it's a big fight. They're saying, you know what, we'll get that fight done. And they've been pushing Quigg. I'm telling you, man. You either move up to featherweight and use the weight as an excuse, and like someone just said in the chat, fight Warrington in Ellen Road, or
I'll go to that, Kimo.
Or he retires.
Sorry, man. I'm just laughing because Leon's quote about taking Gallagher in the back and shooting him
No,
in
not
the
Gallagher. It's Balling.
Oh, sorry.
Shoot.
No,
Oh,
somebody
Leon.
somebody tweeted that shit.
What do you think of how Gallagher looks in a suit? Awful, innit? He looks awful. He just doesn't look right.
Like like a piss man at a funeral.
Exactly. Gallagher just looks like... I didn't want to say it, but... You know, it's quite disrespectful if I say it. I don't want to say it, man. But Gallagher just looks a mess.
My problem with where Gallagher's pushed it too far is I just think he's been very disrespectful. He wraps up disrespect in a respectful, like he says, I respect you, and then shits on you. That's his trick. I just think he's taken it a step too far this time. And Shane, I mean, no one's come out of this smelling of roses, have they? Maybe
I think Gallagher has behaved himself very well. I don't know. Give me a quote from Gallagher that's disrespectful.
I didn't have a quote. You go back and watch that presser and see how he answers that question. He
answered everything perfectly, man. Dude, I've been gobbling every fucking presser, every interview.
No, they said, do you have any respect for McGuigan? And he basically just said no in about a 5-minute statement.
He didn't.
Yes, he did. Oh, Kimo, come on, man. I know you love fucking one up, but seriously.
I'm serious, dude. I'm not fucking trolling at this point. I told Cam this earlier this week. I honestly, I don't see. I think the Gallagher hate has been built up maybe like last year or something. I don't know when this shit started, and it's not just you. It seems to be a lot of UK people, right? But just purely based off of this build up for this fight, I have yet to hear a quote where I think Gallagher's being disrespectful or whatever. Most of it is just a little bit hyping the fight, but it's Frampton's team who actually have been talking the most ridiculous bullshit, man, especially with the whole dressing room debacle. Like, I haven't heard anything from Gallagher that makes me think like, oh, the dude's super
shut
arrogant.
up, Barry. You'll get your moment.
Well, that's pretty funny.
But this is quote unquote his hero. So what is it? Which one is it?
Yeah, because he's acting like a little fucking diva bitch.
No, but I don't care if I met my hero and he was being a dick. I still wouldn't. I would be okay. I don't know. It's just, I think you've got to rise above it, and I don't think he has. Like I said, the Frampton team have been shocking throughout the whole thing. But McGuigan's always been a weirdo.
Yeah, but Leon, you not just you, but a lot of people talk like they have a personal issue with Gallagher, and I don't know where it started from. The fact that it's the gym that he took over, or where.
I know, it's just listening. I can't give you any quotes. All I know is that every time I hear him, it gets more and more difficult to listen to. He seems very arrogant. He comes across very arrogant. But so do we all do that, don't we? So it doesn't really matter.
He said something about how Shane McGuigan's something about One Direction.
Yeah, that was hilarious,
but not disrespectful. But respectful.
But you just confirmed that whatever he's saying is right, because everybody's treating Shane as the future of boxing, and he hasn't proven shit yet.
Well, he's got his One Direction world title.
What's this One Direction shit?
He's a better looking guy than Gallagher.
What's this One Direction shit? I don't get it.
He looks like he's in a boy band.
No, it's not. It's not nothing to do with looks. He's basically saying that he's been hyped up as the poster boy. That's what the word they used. He says basically he's as the poster boy. He's so fragile.
He's got such a weak ego. He can't take anyone as being successful.
Forget that. Who was the guy in the far corner that Quigg was having?
That's Blaine. Anyway, look, I've got to go. So see you later. Fuck you, Kimo. I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Yo, Leon, see you tomorrow, brother.
I'll see you tomorrow, man. I can't wait.
Right,
see you later, guys. Bye.
Yo, you know that guy, yeah? He doesn't even look like a McGuigan. He looks like a Sauerland.
Yeah.
He does, isn't it?
Maybe he is a secret Sauerland.
I didn't even know who that was. I was thinking one of the Sauerland brothers or something. I was thinking, what? I don't even know.
All right, boys, let's move on. Let's give our thoughts.
No. You need to jump in and fucking defend your fellow Mancunians, man. What is this?
Like I said, I'm not the biggest Gallagher fan. I've defended him in the past when like Ari and Hamada getting in a bit hard on him, but it's arrogance. He's very arrogant, Kimo.
And it's what he does, yeah. Listen, let me tell you what it is that pisses me off about Gallagher as well, yeah. It's like he's not just a trainer. It's like he's a matchmaker as well. Like he makes his fighters fight easy fights, and then he goes on about how his fight is the best and his gym's the best, and how he goes on about how he's got this personal record where they've been unbeaten for like 3 years. Well, I mean, any trainer stable would be unbeaten 3 years if they fight nobody. But you remember, Cam, when it was going on around something about 50 fights unbeaten?
Yeah, who fucked it up? It was Paul Smith, innit? I think it was Paul Smith.
I don't know who it was, but yeah, it was one of them. But Paul Smith lost 3 in a row. But yeah, it's just like, you know, and then he comes up with dumb shit. Like, I remember him saying something like, Liam Smith and Mosley should fight at Anfield. Like, just the type of shit he says, it's just annoying, Kimo, man.
I know what you mean.
If you don't see it, then I don't know, man.
He does try to manage his boxes and promote them and like do everything. So
here's the thing, man. You guys, I mean, I'm not trying to generalize here, but a lot of people have an issue, like, for example, like I said, with guys like Freddie Roach. I don't mind that shit. And for some reason, it doesn't come across to me as annoying, but yeah. It's fine, man. We'll agree to disagree. Cam, can we just ensure one thing though? If Quigg wins, can you please send me a Team Gallagher shirt?
I'll buy you one and send it, bro.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get all of our thoughts on. Obviously, you've kind of already said who you're picking. Just how do you guys see the fight playing out?
Go on, Kimo.
I really don't know, man. I mean, I think the right favorite is Frampton. I'd probably say right now I feel about the fight 60-40 for Frampton. So that makes me probably pick Frampton, but I'll be rooting for Quigg. My biggest issue, because I've been talking about Frampton a lot, so let me talk a little bit about Quigg. I have an issue with the way he boxes and the way that matches up with Frampton. And that is that he's a little bit passive when it comes to his aggression. I think a guy like Frampton needs to be pressured in a very, very aggressive manner. Otherwise, he's going to get too comfortable moving, and you're just going to be relying on him getting tired. And we've talked about this before, and if you're in your comfort zone when you're boxing, you're less likely to get tired. So Quigg really needs to come forward, and ideally he would come forward behind the jab and, you know, put the real pressure on him. But that's not how Quigg fights. I've really been studying the way he fights, and the pace that he puts on, even though he's in fantastic shape and he can go 12 rounds, he doesn't put on this high and pace, you know, like he doesn't try to break his opponents. He kind of just sits in the pocket a little bit, and a lot of his past opponents have sat there with him and letting him tee off. And I think he's going to struggle with Frampton, to be honest. I think it's gonna be an issue to really pin him down, and that's the biggest issue I have with Quigg. On the other hand, I do like his punch variety. I think he's a bit more versatile actually than Frampton. I think Frampton's quite basic. I think he operates behind the jab, sticks and moves, 1-2s, and
I totally disagree.
Go on.
Punch selection wise, I think Frampton's much better than Quigg, man. I think the opposite. I think Quigg's quite basic, and I think Frampton's variety is the way he switches up his punches is much better than Quigg.
Switches up what? You think he goes from body head, like he switches it up more?
Not body head, but just how he's throwing. So he might just throw
picks his angles or what?
Yeah, right hand, left hook, and then hook off the jab, and then jab and right to the body. Like he hit Kiko with loads of right hands to the body, but going up up to bottom, I think you're right, probably Quigg. But just punch selection and variety, I think I'll give it to Frampton.
I don't know. I think it's close. I think Quigg's offense is a little bit underrated. But like I said, I don't think his punch selection is going to determine whether he can win this fight. I think it's his overall aggression. What do you think about that? Do you think he has like the temperament to put Frampton in trouble and then get him a bit tired? Because that's my biggest worry in this.
The thing is, the only way you could do that is what the method Kiko used. Because if you look at like the Kiko fights, Kiko's always coming forward. The thing is, Kiko's got a lot better head movement than Quigg. Quigg's not got that much head movement. He has his hands up, but he doesn't really move his head that much. And like you said, he tends to stay in the pocket. He kind of wants you to be there in front of him, where Kiko will walk you down. And he was like, especially the first fight against Frampton, Kiko was making Frampton work every second of every round, and I don't think Quigg's going to do that. I think Quigg will give Frampton opportunities to catch his breath and, just work the jab and encounter. So I totally agree with your point about Quigg not putting too much pressure on his opponents.
By the way, shout out to Chris DLFC, who just gave me a link to a Gallagher shirt. Thanks, bro. Yeah, that's one thing. Regarding defense, like we talked about Frampton, right? I think he gets hit a little bit too much. That's another worry I have with him. I think Quigg's defense is pretty reasonable. I mean, he's got a little bit of a high guard, which I don't know can be troublesome against a fast boxer like Frampton. I don't know, man. It's really, like I said before, I think it's a huge test for the both of them. I think Frampton is definitely gonna outbox him. I think it's a matter of Quigg catching him, and if he can, it might change the momentum of the fight. I wouldn't say it is black and white as either Quigg KO or not. I think he could maybe, if he does end up hurting him, win a decision. But I don't know. If I'm really being reasonable and I'm putting aside all the the emotional bias and the sky hype and all that bullshit, I gotta go with Frampton. I think it's a 60-40 fight. So Frampton UD.
Nice. Hamada, how do you see it playing out?
How do I see it playing out? I think Frampton's already basically revealed his game plan. He's gonna try and use his movement and try to frustrate Quigg, which he can do because, I think Quigg's very robotic. He's got the typical Joe Gallagher style where he's got the hands, the high guard, and they kind of at times walk forward with straight lines, try to dig to the body and stuff like that. But I just think what Frampton needs to do is Frampton needs to hit Quigg hard in the opening first 2 or 3 rounds to win, to keep Quigg honest and make Quigg not wanna come in, because Quigg's trying to sell that he's got this he can box and he's not just this mindless brawler that Frampton is portraying him up to be. So I think if he hits Quigg hard and instead of doesn't just move off the back foot and throw, weak jabs and, stuff like that, I think if he digs his feet in and hits him hard with some left hooks and some right hands, then I think he can force Quigg to not walk him down. But I don't know if you have noticed, but Frampton's gas tank isn't the greatest, I mean, I've seen he normally fades down the stretch of fights, and one thing I give credit to Gallagher for, he gets his fighters in shape. Like, they come to fight for 12 rounds, all of them. I don't know about Paul Smith, but all of them come.
No, it's 6 rounds for Paul Smith.
Exactly. They all come. They are 12-round fighters, that Gallagher gym. So Frampton, and we've seen Frampton gas. Like, I've seen him gas, like, in the Kiko fight, towards the later rounds, he was gassing, and then I think he found his second win and pushed through and got to the finish line. But I'm worried about Frampton. You know, I think Frampton's beginning to doubt himself. If you get what I'm trying to say, I think he. I don't know if a lot of people noticed, but in the Martinez fight, he got hurt to the body in that fight, and he obviously got hurt with headshots. I don't think Quigg's this big puncher that everyone makes him out to be. I think he's got decent power, but I mean, I've never seen Quigg actually flatline someone, like literally knock someone out, you know. But I think Quigg does punch hard to the body. I think it's just a punch that he's become a specialist at, and I think if he catches Frampton to the body, he could slow him down. But I can't pick Quigg, man, because Quigg's style and the way he fights isn't what will give Frampton issues. It will for a few rounds towards the end of the fight, but I don't think in the earlier. I think if Quigg actually uses height and reach and instead of walking Frampton down, actually made Frampton like fight with him in the middle of the ring, like in the center of the ring, or even took a few steps back and just caught Frampton coming in at the end of his shots, because we know Frampton likes to leap in with his punches. He's got quite short arms, so what he likes to do is like when he throws his jab, he likes to jump in with his jab and then follow it with a right hand or a left hook off the jab. But I just think if Quigg was actually used his height and his reach and kept Frampton at the end of his shots, he could win this fight. But I just think Frampton will bank too many rounds early, and then Quigg will probably have a late rally if he's not knocked out by then. Because I think if it goes early, I think Frampton knocks out Quigg. But if it goes late, I think Quigg will knock out Frampton. I think Frampton, it punches a lot harder than Quigg, especially to the head. I've seen Frampton hurt people with headshots and knock people out. I mean, he knocked Kiko Martinez out with one punch. He threw a right hand, and that literally done Kiko Martinez.
And that was late in the fight as well.
Exactly. So I think if it goes early, it'll be Frampton. If it goes late, it'll be Quigg kind of catching him up with body shots and getting to him while he's tired and gassing. But yeah, I think Frampton. I'm gonna say Frampton knocks him out in around five or 6 rounds.
I give my opinion on Monday, but I'll just repeat it. I think Frampton will school Quigg like Quigg's headmaster should have done when he was 15. But yeah, I could see it 10-2, maybe 9-3, and a possible knockout if Quigg gets frustrated and knows he's behind and he actually has a will to win and tries to either claw back some points with knockdowns or tries to knock Frampton out. I think he'll get knocked out himself. Apart from that, I don't see any other knockdowns throughout the fight. I don't see any early knockdowns or anything like that. It's only if Quigg gets reckless. I don't think Frampton's going down. I think he's going to be so sharp. He knows that if he loses this fight, he loses a lot of bragging rights, and I don't think he's even thinking about, coming out the loser in this fight. So really looking forward to it. Yeah, and if you guys are done, shall we just move on to a few more things? Because I know, Kimo, it's really late for you. You want to get some sleep, but go ahead.
Can I quickly say one thing?
Go ahead.
I'm getting sucked in. I don't know, man. I might buy this pay-per-view,
Yes. Yeah.
I might just buy it because it's a kind of fight you don't want to be watching on your laptop on the stream.
No, you don't want to watch a stream and it cuts out when someone just about to get dropped.
How much is it?
It's not that much. It's about £15-16. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but
buy that shit, man.
That's why I'm getting tempted, because it's only £15-16. If it was in America and it was $50-60, no way. But I don't know. This is the kind of fight you want to watch in HD, man. You don't want to, But the undercard is shit. Yeah. So
Hamada, what you need to do is buy that shit on your fucking massive flat screen and just soak up that atmosphere, man. It's going to be fucking brilliant. And I sound like Eddie Hearn now, but seriously, this is going to be off the hook. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Yo, Davey boy,
you guys shouldn't complain, man. The fucking people in the States are getting destroyed with pay-per-view prices, man.
Davey Boy Essex in the chat says, "Oh, I'll have the main fight up fast. Don't worry, in HD."
All right, Davey
Shout
boy.
out to him.
I'll watch Match of the Day and then I'll.
Nah, man, buy it, man. Fuck that shit. Don't be a cheapskate, man. Buy that. Tell Ari to go halves on it.
My casual friends. I want to phone my casual friends. If they bought the fight, then I'm gonna watch it with them. If worse comes to worse, I'm just gonna end up buying it.
All
They're
right,
buying
Kimo,
it, man. It's a matchroom fight.
you got any final thoughts about this fight?
Man, Hamada got me fucking hyped up with that prediction because even though I'm saying Frampton, I think it's such a close fight. I think there's so many unknowns in this. And even though you're quite confident, Cam, I think you have doubts deep inside as well. So.
I have no doubts.
You know, Kimo, let me piggyback off something you said earlier, which I completely agree with. Like, this is like their first test in their career, really and truly. I mean, both their resumes are shit. I think Quigg's got a worse resume because Quigg spent a lot of time fighting people that are coming in short notice. I remember,
Unlike bringing bantamweights up to like super bantam as well.
Yeah, exactly. But both their resumes are shit, really. And
Yeah, but
truly.
you can say that about Leo. You
shit.
can say that about Regos as well, really, innit?
And it's annoying because, like, in boxing, like, everybody's resume is just shit. Like, if you think about it, everyone's getting titles and stuff like this, and they ain't fought nobody. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? You
That's
look at,
true.
I reckon 90% of boxers, like, especially the new school boxers, I'm not talking about Cottos and Pacquiao's and the guys that have been around for many years. Like, I'm talking about the new guys, the guys like Frampton and Santa Cruz and Furmans and these kind of guys like Brooke, like all their resumes are shit. Like they've got one win at best.
Yep.
Really
And the thing is, a lot of people, a lot of the panelists are kind of Frotch haters, but I think Frotch in time, you know, when in 10 years time, when people look back at his resume, man, he like one of the strongest resumes in boxing history, man. He fought so
you know
many.
what it is? Modern day, like, you know, now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, because you know what it is? It's like now, all of a sudden, they're taking advantage of, like, how there's so many belts, and it's all about maneuvering guys and moving them slow, and whereas back when Frotch was fighting, it was like, Frotch never had no real big promoter. Like, he was taking whatever fights he was being offered, really.
Yeah.
Like, if it meant going to America to fight this guy or whatever it was, he was just taking the fights because obviously he went on big minimums or anything like what some of these fighters are on now. Like, some of these fighters are getting it handed to them on a silver plate, you know, signing with Al Heyman, getting paid ridiculous money. Like, Frotch never had it like that, you know. Like, he had to earn what he's got today, and like, you don't know. I'm not a big Frotch fan. Actually, at times I kind of give him stick and stuff like that. But I actually have utmost respect for Carl Frotch. Believe it or not,
That's good to hear.
Yo, Raphael22 in the chat said, I think it's going to be a war like Frotch Groves won. Can you fucking imagine that?
Actually, Kimo, what are you doing? Are you staying up? Are you having a nap and then waking up for it, man? You gotta watch this shit.
I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm going to do because I got shit to do the next day. It's really bad, but I probably can't sleep. I know right now I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. But it's a bit late in the UK, right? Like, ring walks I read are like
10:45.
10:45? Like,
yeah, I think because it's on Showtime Extreme in the States about 5:30, so I think they've kind of... To be honest, that most main events are about 11 o'clock, to be honest.
Yo, Cam, you better not go to the arena until like 9:30. Because that undercard is... Like, I don't even know the undercard, but like, the fact that I don't know the undercard means that shit.
Yeah, speaks a lot, but... Yeah, let's wrap it up a bit because there's a few other topics I want to quickly discuss before we go. But any final thoughts about this?
No, that's it.
fucking pump, man.
I just want to give all the people that joined the chat tonight. A shout. So we got the Compa, Bill Bones 101, Casual Fan, Shams 1000, Colm, Michael McDonough, Danny Yankee, Raphael 22, Davy Boy Essex, Chris DLFC, Dean Scores, my friend Scorsese. Shout, he had a epic battle with Liverpool's O'Shea. It's on YouTube's Clash Money. 3 rounds. Excellent, man. Shit. PM versus Nesmatic, Maki Mac TMT, Wasif 1, Mr. Dermo, Jack Captain, Bruto Deluxe. Ari Gold Boss is in the chat, but he's not on the line. That's terrible, Ari. You're letting this side down. Jace be the A-side, Zorro 11, H-Town Mario, and 17 guests. Quickly, Kimo. Mr. Thurman pulls out of his fight. Hopefully gets rescheduled against Porter. Do you think it's just bad luck, or do you think there's anything a bit deeper?
You know, I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, and someone
I know
said,
what you're going to say.
yeah. I was listening to my boy, yeah, exactly. I was listening to my boy Gabe, and he said, I want to see the car, and I want to see the car too.
I saw the car. It was a Mustang. I don't know if it is the actual one, but someone posted it on Twitter.
Oh, and is it fucked up or what? What happened?
It's not that bad, but they're saying that he's got whiplash, so it's nothing.
You understand it, Kimo?
You can't get like an X-ray whiplash, so it could be bullshit.
You know what? I mean, everything is pure speculation at this point, but I'm not gonna lie, man. It fucking pissed me off because I was really, really looking forward to this. I mean, it's absolutely dreadful at the moment stateside when it comes to boxing, and this was kind of the lifeline that we had, and I don't know what this means, man. Thurman has been a bit dodgy the whole fucking time during this build-up, you know, especially before the contract signing and all that. He kind of went undercover, and now this shit.
That's the thing. It makes him more suspect because he was the one that seemed to be not willing to, you know, sign the contract in the first place, and now he's the one injured. It just seems all a bit suspect. It
does. I'm not gonna lie. It does, and it pisses me off because I really, really like Thurman. You know, like I remember when he came on the PBC broadcast as a commentator. Like, I fucking love hearing the guy talk. You know, I think he's brilliant. I like him as a fighter as well. Sure, he has his limits, but I want to see the guy fight. You know, I'm sick of this inactivity. I'm sick of him not fucking getting in the ring and fighting big names. And then we finally had it, and now it's been taken away again. So I don't know. Is there any plan for another date, or what's the latest on this, Cam?
I'm not really the person to ask after the postponement. I'm not really kept up with it, but I think they are hoping to reschedule it. The rest of the card has been scrapped, so none of the undercard is taking place. So fingers crossed it gets rescheduled and the fight happens.
I sure hope so, man. What's your take, Amada?
Furman don't want to fight. I don't know, man. Like, I haven't been following it closely, but from what I read and stuff like that on Twitter and stuff like that, like, Furman's been acting real shady before he actually signed for the fight. You know, I mean, apparently rumours that he's looking to leave Al Heyman, etc., etc. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, man, I just think Furman just crashed his car, you know, thinking that he's got a fight with Porter coming up, you know what I mean? I think he was looking for a way out. I just thought, you know what, I can't be fighting Porter. That guy's gonna beat me up. I'm joking now, but I don't know, man. To be honest, I don't know, but Furman ain't done himself no favours. You know, he can't expect people to give him the benefit of the doubt with his recent behaviour. So I just think he probably did get injured, but what was he doing though? I mean, that's what people need to find out. How can you just crash your car? Like, was he drunk? Was he...
What do you mean, how can he crash? Car crashes happen every day. It could be someone else's mistake. It could be car failure.
No one's saying like how it actually happened. Like, we just hear he was in a car crash. Like, he hasn't come out and spoke about it. Nobody's come out and spoke about it, saying he was hit by another guy or he lost control of the car while he was on the road. Like, nobody's saying anything. So, you know, it's difficult to say, man. Like, what actually happened?
I agree, actually, Hamada. I think there's a lack of, you know, they're not really elaborating on it. It's just like, oh, He had a car crash. He's got whiplash. Fight's cancelled. And everybody's just looking around like, what the fuck happened?
Scratching their heads.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's pretty straight. They seem to act like it's really straightforward, and it's not. Like, it's a big fucking fight. It's a big deal. Like, why you're, they're kind of cutting it off. And I agree with Hamada. It
seems a bit fishy.
Yeah, it does seem fishy, man. Like, at least do a press release or something, or do an interview or whatever,
Has Furman even sent a tweet out or anything?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure he can, from his hospital bed. It's not that difficult.
Maybe Brooke was driving the car that drove into Thurman.
I want to know, like, probably how long ago did this happen? Like, probably, they probably thought, what, let's see how it goes, and then they probably reached a point where, yeah, let's just cancel it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, this could have happened probably 3-4 weeks ago. No, we didn't even know.
That's true, but like you said, because there's not been so little information released about it, it's hard to kind of gauge any type of opinion because we don't really know enough.
I don't think the fight happens,
I have that feeling as well. It's just with the whole, the way the contract negotiations went for so long and now this delay, I could see him going in different directions. Seriously.
With Brooke, I don't like Brooke, but at least when he got stabbed, he posted a photo of it, like, what the fuck has Thurman done? Has he even shown his face?
No idea. Alright, let's move on. Today, Bob Arum said that Lomachenko-Walters has been verbally agreed upon, and really, verbally doesn't mean shit these days, but if it happens, I'm excited for that fight.
Lomachenko tweeted it himself as well.
That's good, but they might agree to it and then have an argument over the changing room.
There's no McGuiggans involved, man.
No, but yeah, if that happens, I'm looking forward to that fight. It's, if that happens and Frampton Quiggs is a good fight, and Wilder Povetkin possibly happening as well, this year's looking like a good year in boxing.
Well, good is a bit exaggerated, right? 3 good fights. But,
yeah, but
it's a great fight. It's a great fight. And it's a good test, finally, for Lomachenko. I've been one of his biggest haters because I like the guy. He passes the eye test, but he just hasn't done shit.
Have you read anything about weight?
That was actually going to be my question, because Walters...
he went up, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got. I mean, I don't know I definitely don't think he's going back down. So I don't know what the deal is.
Maybe that's why it's verbally agreed. Yet they're still maybe negotiating about exact weight. Maybe it's going to be a catch weight or something. Or
Well, that's the wild card, isn't it? Because Walters apparently is a big motherfucker. Like, he can't make the weight properly. So
Bill Bones is saying in the chat that it's 130. So. You got any thoughts, Amara, about this fight?
Yeah, Waters knocks him out.
You think so?
Yeah, Waters knocks him out. He's hiding glass.
Based on what?
I don't know, man. I'm just taking a guess.
You going with the Axeman?
Yeah, Axeman.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm gonna pick him as well, just because I want to piss off King J, who's got this fucking gay ass relationship with Lomachenko, man.
The Lomosexuals, they're gonna be extinct after this fight.
They're fucking ridiculous, man. I've never seen so much support for a guy that hasn't accomplished anything with, like, fights that I can count on one hand. Like, seriously, man.
Now, but honestly, yeah, Lomachenko's a great fight. He does pass the eye test and that, but there's a reason why he's been fighting these kind of guys, man, and he's not stepping up. I think, like, they had enough now, and they said, yo, you need to fight Waters, innit? Even though he doesn't have to take this fight, he could always turn it down, but I just think he gets knocked out, man. Waters punches so hard, and he's so big. It's a physical mismatch, in my opinion.
I don't know. I've gained a lot of respect for Walters, but in the back of my mind, he still knocked out my boy Danair, so I still got a bit of hate for him. And Lomachenko is my boy, Southpaw brethren. I love watching him fight, even though a lot of his recent competition has been below average. But even against a bum, I'm excited, to see him fight, just to see, how he pivots up the. Yeah. No, I'm disappointed that he doesn't fight anyone better. But if Lomachenko was on an undercard somewhere, I look forward to it because I just love seeing him fight.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about with this homosexual bullshit. What do you mean you enjoy watching him fight against a bum, man? I want to see him face somebody proper. I really don't enjoy that, actually.
No, I'm the same. I prefer him to fight better opposition, but if he's gonna fight, I prefer him to fight a bum than not fight at all.
Yeah, H-Town Maro just said it. Cam is getting sexual, LOL.
But yeah,
I don't know what it is, man. Lomachenko seems to ignite this fanboyism with a lot of people, man. But the guy needs to step up, and this is a good step up for him, and let him prove himself. Because the last time he stepped up, he got fucking schooled by Salido.
Yeah, but that was against a creep, though. Come on.
He crept on him.
In the dark alley.
Lomachenko is such an inspiration. Like, I try to do the shit he does on the heavy bag, and I can't even do it to save my life. The way he just jumps around and he just pivots out, and it's just ridiculous, man. Like, he's an inspiration, man. I try to do that shit all the time. I can't do that shit. I ain't got footwork like that.
Yeah, but you also can't do the shit that Amir Khan does. But does that mean he's gonna be successful in the pros? Not necessarily. So.
Yeah, it's true. I agree still. And he hasn't been successful in the pros.
He hasn't. Yeah, the only time he fought a good pro, he lost. He couldn't handle the heat. So there you go.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not impressed with these fucking Olympians, man, when they come on, like, and these amateur stars. Like, you need to prove yourself, man. Pro boxing is a rugged game. You can't compare that shit. It's a totally different vibe.
Yeah, it's true, man. I agree, man. I know what you're talking about, Kimo.
All right.
Yeah, but Cam's getting all excited, so
me and King J are homies, man. So we're on Team Loma. But let's move on. Just another piece of news that was announced today that Povetkin's team, World of Boxing, basically won the purse bid to promote the fight. Kimo, do you see Wilder going over to Russia, or do you think they'll maybe place the fight in the States, or do you think he'll just drop the belt, or what do you think?
Well, the first option you gave me, we can cross out, right? Is Wilder going to go to Russia? No fucking way. If he does, I mean, that would just flip my world upside down. Like that means everything's logical is illogical suddenly. I mean, no, of course not. He's not going to go there, man. Do you see that happening?
I think they're better off placing the fight in the States, because if Povetkin wins, he's on a bigger platform in the States, I guess.
I have a hard time seeing Wilder step in the ring with Povetkin. And
the thing is, if he just drops the belt, though, that's going to look so bad.
He's going to pull a Quillen. Yeah, that's not a good choice for his career. It's funny because he's actually been cornered. I mean, I'm not much into the politics of boxing, but he doesn't really have a way out. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, the only way out for him is to either drop it, right? Or for some reason, try to get it in the States. But how would he do that? You guys tell me, because I'm not really into this fucking topic.
I don't know if Povetkin's team have won it. I would assume they'd won it in Russia, but maybe if Al offers them some type of benefits for them holding the fight in the States, that's the only thing I can maybe consider for the fight to happen in the States. But like I said, I'm not really expert on the politics like you.
So Heyman would need to put up a shitload of money basically for Povetkin to come over.
I don't know. I don't know if they would be allowed to like just offer him money just because it's a purse bid situation. So maybe they would need to offer some type of TV rights or some type of additional money where it's not they're just paying him directly. They would have to kind of pay him in a different manner, so it's not going straight through to the because it wouldn't affect the purse bids basically.
I
Ain't
see.
it done though? Like now it's like, because obviously the burst bit done. Ain't it like all in Povetkin's team's hands now? Like they control everything.
To do,
Like,
but what I'm
they-
saying is, like,
There's no backdoor deals. They can't do no backdoor deals on that no more. Like it's done now. That's
it's
why.
done. But I'm thinking, do you think they could do a deal on the TV and where it's placed?
Yeah, I think they can, but obviously there's a reason why they want that purse bid, isn't it? Because they want it in Russia, isn't it?
The thing is,
Because they put up the money.
the amount that, DeBella offered on Heyman's behalf, I thought it was quite low, really. DeBella offered 5.1, and World of Boxing won it with 7.1. So, World Heavyweight WBC titles, quite low bids, I thought.
Maybe the PBC well is running dry, man.
Yeah, man. Wilder's vacating, man. He got that pressure put on him. They put that pressure on, man. Like, I don't know what he's gonna do because he's not going Russia.
It's
So
going to look so bad though if he vacates Hamada.
And the worst thing is that's all he has. That's all Wilder has. That belt. That is it. He's got nothing else.
Because initially I thought maybe with Martin getting the IBF, he could vacate the WBC and fight Martin for the IBF, and it still looks, to casual fans, it still looks okay because it's a world heavyweight title on the line. But with Martin going in the route of Joshua, as Kimo said, Wilder's a bit out in the cold.
You know what I thought they were gonna do? I thought Wilder and Martin would be the next fight. Unification.
Yeah.
They can obviously freeze out Povetkin for another fight, say, you know what I mean? Because unification is more important than mandatory, right? Like, normally I think you can duck a mandatory by fighting a unification, but I guess they didn't decide to do that for one reason or another. Maybe Wilder didn't fancy the fight against Martin, or
I don't think the WBC would have given him the option though. I think they would have just stripped him then, because I think they've already given him like a couple of voluntaries. So I think they would have just straight stripped him if he would have. And then it wouldn't be unification, he'd just be fighting for the title against Martin, the IBF one.
yeah. But that's what I thought was gonna happen. But nah, man, that pressure got put on him, man. They've got a big decision to make, man.
Yep.
You know, whether to go Russia or vacate the belt, because
It's interesting to see. I'm really interested to see what they do. Really.
Me too, man. But the thing is, I'm never, apart from the whole issue of actually going to Russia, because that I do understand is quite a, daunting task. But I think I would probably pick Wilder if he fought Povetkin. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think. I mean, fair enough, it's a challenging fight, but I don't think it's like, that dangerous for him. I think Wilder would probably be the favorite for me.
If the Wilder that fought Stavern, that excellent concentration, I'll pick Wilder. But I'm a big fan of Povetkin. I think he's fun to watch. I think he does struggle with tall guys like with Vlad, but Wilder doesn't really hold. So I don't know. I don't know how that fight would play out, to be honest.
I think Povetkin knocks Wilder out. Wilder's a knockout waiting to happen. with his wide stance and his low hands and his chin up in the air, pulling back, he's a knockout waiting to happen.
With Povetkin's team winning the purse bids, would they have like the right to choose the ring size and stuff?
Like, they control everything now, don't they? Like,
because if
they have to do the show now.
If they make it a phone booth, man, Wilder's fucked.
Exactly. I have a really hard time with believing they're going to go through this. He's going to definitely vacate, unless they can somehow get the fight in America. Other than that, they're vacating. Definitely, man. I mean,
we shall see, boys. We shall see. Let's wrap it up and let Kimo get some rest. Hamada, have you got any final thoughts for us? And thanks for jumping on, man. It's been good having you on.
Yeah.
I told Kimo earlier I'll be on. But yeah, I just want to talk about two things quickly, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Firstly, Khan versus Canelo. Personally, I'm not a fan of the fight. I think Khan's just fighting for the payday, innit, really and truly. I mean, he's probably going to get paid well. I don't fancy his chances in the fight either. think Canelo will knock him out early as well. I've been seeing on social media people saying Khan has a chance of outboxing him. I don't think so. Khan's not that good in my opinion. I think he's probably one of the most overrated fighters in boxing. He's good, but he's one of the most overrated fighters in boxing. But yeah, I just think Canelo's gonna knock him out, and I think it's just, I don't know. I've always remembered, Khan saying he wants to retire like the age he's at now. If you get what I'm trying to say, I always heard that sort of stuff. So maybe like he's gonna fight this fight and then probably fight Brook next year and then call it a quits, man. Just finish with 2 big paydays.
I could see that, man.
He hasn't fought for a while, and then to fight Canelo, I mean, it's a. I just think he wants that kind of big super fight where he gets paid a lot of money. If you get what I'm trying to say. And listen, I saw a lot of things saying how people giving credit to Khan, saying he's so brave for taking this fight. Listen, man, like, you don't know I'm not a big Khan fan, but a lot of people would have took this fight with Canelo. A lot. Like, who wouldn't fight Canelo? Every man and his dog wants to fight Canelo.
According to Warren, like, Liam Smith was in the sweepstakes.
Do you get what I'm saying? Liam Smith would love to fight Canelo. Everyone, because first of all, it's going to be their biggest payday of their career, and second of all, you're going to fight in Vegas, fight on the HBO pay-per-view. Who in their right mind, if they're offered that fight, will turn it down? No one.
And thirdly, like, losing to Canelo, there's no shame in it. It's like it's not a bad loss on your record. Whereas
if he lost to Brook, then that's I mean. He's going to be known as, you're not even the best fighter in your country. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Brook knocks you out, etc., etc. Like. So I just think he's just trying to keep his career going, take a bit of this fight. Because he doesn't, I don't think he'll lose. The only thing he probably will lose is some brain cells after Canelo beats him up quite badly. But that's all he can lose, really.
Fair enough. What was the second point you wanted to make?
Joshua Martin. I don't know, man. I mean, when I first heard that they were going to fight, I didn't like the fight, but to be honest, I don't really, me, I'm not bothered anymore with all this bullshit anymore. But,
you want an Ari lifestyle?
Yeah, I'm not bothered with all this bullshit anymore, but you see, if Joshua wins the world title, I'm going to go on a limb and say he will become the biggest star in boxing worldwide. No one will be big. I think a lot of people don't realize how big Joshua is. Like, he is a huge name. Like, he's crossed over to every kind of fan. The normal boy on the street, normal guy in the hood. Little kids at school love Joshua. The women love Joshua. Men that sit in the pub love Joshua. Everyone. He's transcended boxing completely. Like, he is going to be... If he wins this fight, he's literally one fight away from becoming one of the biggest stars ever in British boxing. I don't think people realise that. People come to me and talk to me about Joshua, and I'm thinking, you don't know nothing about boxing. What are you talking about? I'm telling you, people at work, people like that I know from my local area, just everyone loves Joshua. The kids love him. It's ridiculous, man. And
quickly, Hamada, like if he does beat Martin, do you think he's just gonna go on the Brook route, or do you think he'll have tough tests?
No, he'll go on the Brook route, man. It's already been seen. I mean, he's probably gonna fight weak competition and then wait for that big super fight. That's the Eddie Hearn blueprint. I mean, he's done it with Brook. He's done it with Quigg. That's his blueprint, right?
Yep. That's
what he's gonna do. But yeah, man, I think I was surprised though that Martin took the fight. To be honest, first defense coming over, like,
dude, he's getting £5 million for it, right?
Really, 5 million?
That's what I read. He's getting $5 million for it.
I'm surprised.
£5 million or dollars?
I thought it was pounds, but I could be wrong.
I doubt it's pounds. I've not read anything about what he's getting, but I doubt it's pounds.
No, I read and heard that multiple times, man. At least $5 million. Could be dollars. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, that's still a massive payday.
I'm pretty shocked about that because Hearn's a cheapskate.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Hearn probably gave him 1 million, like something like that. Because Hearn's a tight cunt. Like Hearn don't like to pay.
I was waiting for that.
He don't like to put his money out. But maybe you never know. Hearn probably invested heavily in Joshua and just thought, you know what?
Exactly.
We really fancy the fight. Joshua will win. I can't say if I think Joshua will win. I've never seen Martin fight, and that's if I've never heard of you, then especially with me, like I've been watching boxing for years. I've never heard of you, then you can't be pretty good. it's just the truth.
That's the Hamada blueprint. If I've not heard of you, you're shit.
Yeah, so. But yeah, I just think it's going to be huge, man. And I think this time, Hearns had a word with Heyman and said, you need to do me a favor. And I've done you plenty of favors. I've sent people out to America to come fight your guys. You need to send Martin over here. Or they just ran out of money, like Heyman and us ran out of money. Like, it's either one of the two. But I think I'll be optimistic and say like it's the first one, like, if you get what I'm trying to say. Because like I said, I've never heard of Martin. Martin could lose to anyone. Literally, like, Martin could probably lose to Ariola. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and imagine
He's
Ariola
so unproven.
Exactly. So, I mean, make him take the most money if he's gonna lose. It makes sense.
I've seen Martin fight and he's so stiff, man. He's so upright, no movement at all.
More stiff than AJ.
More stiff than AJ.
Wow, that's quite hard. I think AJ's not that stiff, but I think he got real stiff when he got hit, and that's a worry.
Yeah.
That's a big worry. Like, I mean, it was Frank Bruno-esque, like his stiffness.
I was having flashbacks.
Yeah, but other than that's all I really got, man. But I'm just surprised. I was surprised that fight actually got made. I thought Joshua was going to probably fight Chisora.
Yeah, most people did, to be honest.
That would have been a disgraceful fight, man, Chisora.
The truth is, it's kind of, even though Martin might turn out to be shit, but the fact is, like, it's
he's undefeated and it's a world title fight.
And he's got a lot of knockouts on his record. It's respectable. Whereas if he fought Chisora, I mean, putting that on pay-per-view, I mean, that's bollocks.
He's saving Chisora for the first defense.
You reckon?
No, I'm just joking.
I hope not.
All right. Thank you about it, man. Good catching up with you.
Yeah, man. No problem, man.
Kimo, any final thoughts?
Ah, man. There's so much to say. Oh, man. There's so much to say about this fight, man, but it's finally here, and I'm really, really fucking excited. I hope you guys have a blast tomorrow. I mean, please do take some videos or fucking Periscope that shit, man, live from the arena. It's gonna be hype, man. I can't fucking wait. I'm rooting for Quigg. That's what my heart says, but my mind says Frampton. So I'm a bit torn still, but who gives a shit, man? It's gonna be a fucking amazing fight, and it's good for boxing.
Good catching up with you, Kimo.
Hell yeah, bro.
Right, I want to thank you guys for jumping on today, Leon also. I want to thank all the people in the chat and all the people that download the show week in, week out. We'll be back on Saturday with the review of the fight. Fingers crossed, it's a cracker. And lastly, I just want to say today would have been my late mother's 60th birthday, so happy birthday, Mum. Peace.
Happy birthday.